Hey, Jim Remley here with eRealEstateCoach.com. I've got some interesting numbers that have come out from NAR. It is their annual study of how people are interacting with digital technology when it's related to real estate. So I'm going to give you a link. If you look down here in the blog post, you'll see a link where you can download this entire report yourself if you like to. But let's look at some key numbers together. And so here's some of the things that they've studied, and this is interesting information. So the first one is the first step a home buyer takes when they're getting ready to purchase. So they decide at home, hey, we want to buy a house. What's our first step? Here's all the things that they typically do in order of importance. So 44% of them looked online first for a home. 17% contacted a real estate agent. 11% looked online for information about the home buying process itself. 7% contacted a bank or mortgage company. 6% talked with a friend or relative, and 6% drove by homes and neighborhoods. It changes by generation how they interact with technology, as you would expect, but that's the breakdown of how people take their first steps when they enter the market. So of course for us, when we say 44% are going online, we have to have an online presence, super important. So what do they do? What's information they're looking for when they go online? Here's some things that they look for, but also information that they tap when they're getting involved in this home buying process. Where do they go? So online website, of course, 93% of the time. But surprisingly, we still rate really high. 86% of the time they talk to a real estate agent about the process. 73% of them use a mobile or tablet device to access information about buying a house. Here's a really powerful number that is often something we overlook, and that's that still today, 53% of all home buyers will attend at least one open house before they make a buying decision. If you're not using open houses as a lead generation tool, you're missing the boat because there's a ton of people still going to open houses. 46% use yard signs, and 37% use online video. Another massive opportunity. Very, very few agents are using video effectively. If you use that to your advantage, you can set yourself up and differentiate yourself from the marketplace. So how long do people look? So this is an interesting question, and it changes over time. You can see going back all the way to 2001 to 2018, there's been changes. Most recently, people are spending 10 weeks, about 2.5 months in their home search from day one to I'm going into escrow, and they on average look at 10 homes. So remember that number, 10 and 10 is the average numbers there. Another piece of information which is important is when you're building out to your website, something you should be thinking about is what do people need from my site? What do people need from me when I'm delivering information? So here's this buyer's perceptions. The most difficult steps of the home buying process, according to buyers in their minds, is number one, 56% finding the right property. So are we communicating all the ways we're going out and trying to help them find property? Not just MLS, but maybe talking to for sale by owners, maybe talking to expired listings, maybe farming or talking to people in a neighborhood they're interested in, really going and looking and turning over every stone so you're showing them how you build up value in your services. 20% find the paperwork to be confusing and they need help with that. 16% understanding the process in general, like what are the steps involved in buying. 13% struggle with the down payment. 13% struggle with getting a mortgage. And 19% just thinks it's easy. There's no difficult steps at all. So think about your website and ask yourself, am I answering these questions on my site? Am I answering these questions when I do social media posts? Am I answering the site in general in my email drip campaigns? Am I really driving to the core of what people are concerned with and that they perceive to be the most difficult part of the home buying process? This is a graph that shows how realtors interact with social media. It's interesting, 77% of realtors use social media, 22% say they don't use social media, and 1% is just confused. They don't know if they're using it or not using it, so that's an interesting question. But what are they using, which is interesting? As you'd expect, 97% of realtors are using Facebook, so it's saturated with realtors. In fact, if you're a realtor and you go on Facebook, you probably see realtors all everywhere. 59% use LinkedIn, so there's an opportunity there. Basically 40% of realtors are not there. And 39% use Instagram. That's the opportunity. Of course, we know Facebook owns Instagram, but when you talk to the younger generations, millennials, and the younger Gen X's, they almost are universally using Instagram. Very few are using Facebook. So you got to ask yourself, if I want to be competitive, do I want to maybe start to migrate or start to at least use Instagram as a part of my business strategy? If you're not there now, it's something you should start to really leverage and take a look at. Something else to consider is, where do leads flow from? Now, we know that Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, all these websites out there are pushing to sell us leads all the time. But is that really where agents get their leads from when they're investing dollars online? The number one place we should spend money to invest in lead generation is always your sphere of influence, always. But if you have 10%, 15% of your budget left, where are you going to put those dollars? Here's where realtors say they get the most leads. Number one, social media. 47% say they get their leads from social media. MLS sites, 32%. The brokerage websites, 29%. Listing aggregator site, that means Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, is 29%. But notice that's tied for third. It's not the number one place people are getting leads. CRM, meaning top producer, referral maker, whatever CRM piece you're using. Email marketing tools like drip campaigns, constant contact, those kinds of systems. Digital ad campaigns would be Google, 16%. Google AdWords. It could also be digital ad campaigns on Facebook, which has a huge digital ad campaigns strategy built into that system. Your blog or your business website. So think about how you compare to the other realtors in the nation in terms of lead generation. I'm going to challenge you now with a little real estate tech quiz. 9 questions. Just take a minute as you're listening to me read these off and say, am I doing this or not doing this? And if you're not, when am I going to do it? So here you go. Number 1, have you checked your digital footprint? That just simply means, have you Googled yourself and seen how you appear on the internet? How do you come across? What comes up? Is that information dated? Does it really reflect who you are? 2, have you updated your website? A lot of agents build it and forget it. They set it, forget it, they don't come back to it. Have you changed it in the last 6 months, the last 12 months? Same goes true with your email signature. Have you changed that? How about your headshot? When's the last time you changed that? By the way, rule of thumb, realtors should change their headshot once a year. Not once every decade, once a year. 3rd, have you updated your bio? Your bio should be the same across all platforms. When I go to LinkedIn and compare it to Facebook and compare it to the MLS and compare it to your website, compare it to your company website, they should be the same across all boards. I bet if I went to most agents' website, that's not true. Number 4, do you post 2 to 3 times a week on social media? If you're not, you need to start. That's a given. It's a part of what we do as an industry. We've got to be visible. It's another touch point, really, with your database. It's another touch point with your sphere of influence. 5, have you set yourself up on your own drip campaign? Somebody said this to me recently. They said, you must eat your own dog food. And you might say, what does that mean? It means that you need to sign yourself up for the systems you want your clients to sign up for and receive what your clients are receiving. Eating your own dog food means you're seeing what your clients are seeing. And if you're not happy with it, guarantee your clients aren't either. So make sure you're using your own systems as a consumer. And then 6, are you using CRM daily in your business? It's absolutely necessary to have CRM. It's not optional. So you got to invest in something. They're not perfect. Just pick one. Top producer, referral maker, whatever it is, Realty Juggler, there's a ton of them out there. Next, 7, are you asking for reviews and recommendations? We know that's a huge part of our industry now, is reviews and recommendations. But again, ask yourself, am I getting those Yelp reviews? Am I getting those Facebook reviews? Am I getting the Google reviews? Some things that people often don't think about, any of those 3, something we should be thinking about as we move into the next 12 months. What's your video strategy? I mentioned videos, an underutilized opportunity, something we should be taking a look at, and maybe building some evergreen videos. Evergreen videos are those that can be viewed over and over, and they're not time sensitive. So think about evergreen videos. And then 9th, and really important, if you have a mobile app, are you promoting that mobile app to the world and talking about it with your friends and family, and also, of course, your sphere of influence and new customers as they come along? So your little tech quiz there for today. Hope you have a great day, good selling, and we'll see you next time at eRealEstateCoach.com.